Hi everybody, what we're going to do now is we're going to get a domain name and attach it to our store because we need a domain name, otherwise our store address would be yourstore.shopify.com. Now clearly that's not at all professional, so you do need a domain name for your store. Now by now you will already have an idea of the niche you're going to sell in. You'll have a whole list of products, so you've got a kind of idea where you are going. But at the same time, what if you're not really sure that this is the niche that you really ultimately want to sell in, and you don't want to keep on buying new domain names if you decide to change? You can buy a more generic domain name, and if you look at a lot of stores now, the domain names, they're quite general, so they're not attached to any specific niche. Now you can buy your domain name directly from Shopify. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. And when you do that, you don't actually have to set anything up or connect it to Shopify, to your store, because it's already automatically connected. But first of all, you need to come up with a domain name, and we can't really use the Shopify system to do that because we can't test to find out if domain names are available properly in the Shopify system. So you can use any domain registrar to get ideas for domain names. So I like to use GoDaddy. GoDaddy is the domain registrar that I buy most of my domain names from, but you can use any at all. For this demo, we'll go over to GoDaddy. Alright, so you can use the search bar here to find out if a domain is available or not, and also to help give you some ideas. I can't really help you in choosing a domain name because it's going to be something that you've got to come up with. You've got to try and get a little bit creative because you will try domain names to see if they're available, and oftentimes they'll be gone and you'll have to think up something else. Sometimes it's good to try and think of a kind of catchy name. This will definitely be gone, but let's just try it anyway. Yeah, so you can see that is taken, the .com is taken. So you may need to try several, and you can grab a pen and paper or a text file on your device and just start coming up with ideas. That's what I do when I'm looking for a domain name. So when I chose the domain name Little Pets with a Z, I had tried dozens of other domain names that were similar to that before I even thought of Little Pets, and all the other ones were taken. Don't go for anything like .org or any of these kind of domain extensions here. Only go for either .com or the country extension of the country that you are going to be selling in. So in other words, if you're going to sell in the UK.co.uk, if you're going to sell in, say, France.fr, you're going to sell in Canada.ca, but other than that, go for .com. And the second tip is about using different characters in your domain name. Don't use hyphens because they get missed out. So if somebody's typing your domain name into the address bar, the hyphen will often get missed out and they'll end up on a completely different website. Don't use numbers, so don't use like a number 4, 5, any number at all. And the reason for that again is that the number could easily get typed as the letters. So if you had the number 4 in your domain, could get typed as FOUR or the number 4. So don't use numbers either in the letter form or in the actual digit form. So yes, really that's about it. Don't use numbers in your domain name, don't use hyphens, and for your extensions either use .com or the country extension that you plan to sell in. Alright, now once you've chosen a domain name, you don't need to buy it here, because if you buy it from Shopify, as I said, you won't have any setting up to do. On the other hand, if you've already got a domain name, so let's say you have an existing domain name you want to use, then you can attach that to your Shopify store. So let's go ahead and click on Domains. You have the choice to connect an existing domain or buy a domain. If you don't have one already, then I recommend that you buy the domain that you've just chosen, so the domain you've picked after searching to find something that's available that you like. I recommend that you just go ahead and buy it here from Shopify. Now it's going to cost a couple of dollars more than it would if you buy it from somewhere else, say GoDaddy. But it's going to save you some time and hassle setting it up. There's a little bit of technical stuff to do to actually connect a domain name that you have bought elsewhere. So go ahead and either click buy new domain to buy the domain that you've chosen that you know already is available, or click to connect existing domain. So if you have a domain already, and then you enter here the domain that you want to connect, then you click next, and it will actually come up with the domain provider. So Shopify will automatically detect where you have purchased that domain name from. Now, this particular domain actually wasn't bought from GoDaddy, it was bought from Namecheap, so that's correct. And then what you need to do is click the button to follow the instructions to connect your domain to Shopify. Okay, now the instructions are different for every domain provider, but it's not difficult. You just need to follow the step-by-step instructions, and there are a couple of technical things to do. So once again, you don't need to do this. You can buy your domain name from Shopify. So you can go to one of the domain providers like GoDaddy, etc., to find out if a domain is available. Then you can come over here to Shopify and you can buy your domain from Shopify. So right here, buy new domain, and then you won't have any setup to do.